Hello, everyone. Welcome to United States News. The Biden administration has charted the same course as the Trump administration on strategic priorities like China, the Middle East, and U.S. military deployments. A fist bump and meeting with the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. Tariffs and export controls on China. Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. American troops out of Afghanistan. More than a year and a half into the tenure of President Biden, his administration's approach to strategic priorities is surprisingly consistent with the policies of the Trump administration, former officials and analysts say. Mr. Biden vowed on the campaign trail to break from the paths taken by the previous administration, and in some ways on foreign policy he has done that. He has repaired alliances, particularly in Western Europe, that Donald J. Trump had weakened with his America First proclamations and criticisms of other nations. In recent months, Mr. Biden's efforts positioned Washington to lead a coalition imposing sanctions against Russia during the war in Ukraine. And Mr. Biden has denounced autocracies, promoted the importance of democracy, and called for global cooperation on issues that include climate change and the coronavirus pandemic. But in critical areas, the Biden administration has not made substantial breaks, showing how difficult it is in Washington to chart new courses on foreign policy. That was underscored this month when Mr. Biden traveled to Israel and Saudi Arabia, a trip partly aimed at strengthening the closer ties among those states that Trump officials had promoted under the so-called Abraham Accords. In Saudi Arabia, Mr. Biden met with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman despite his earlier vow to make the nation a pariah for human rights violations, notably the murder of a Washington Post writer in 2018. U.S. intelligence agencies concluded that the prince ordered the brutal killing. Behind the scenes, the United States still provides important support for the Saudi military in the Yemen war despite Mr. Biden's earlier pledge to end that aid because of Saudi airstrikes that killed civilians. The policies are converging, said Stephen E. Biegun, Deputy Secretary of State in the Trump administration and a National Security Council official under President George W. Bush. Continuity is the norm, even between presidents as different as Trump and Biden.